What's up, guys? CD here. Alright, so today we're going to talk about doing world bosses. This will be part 1 of the world boss series of my Dummies Guide to Brown Dust. In this video, I hope to teach you everything you need to know about world bosses in Brown Dust, as well as how to get high point totals to get the best rewards you can get based on the units you have. Alright, some units are very crucial, some not so much. And if you don't, because most of the time, the important units are units that you can get. All right, it's not inaccessible. Like it's not a gacha only unit. All right, so and most of the time, these important units are not 5-star base units. All right. Anyway, welcome to Dummy's Guide to Brown Dust, episode 6. Okay, before I start, as with all world bosses, do test your score first before you actually do it for real at the training center. Alright, if you don't know what it is, this is the training center. Test, practice before the actual battle. The score won't be applied, but you can see what kind of score you're going to get first before you try it on the real thing, right? When you do the real thing right here, alright? Okay, first we're going to touch about the rules of World Boss and the interface, alright? This is your ranking. This is your group, your score group. Meaning there are a couple of different groups, alright? Group rewards. Based on your score, you will get into a different group. So right now I'm SSS plus. So the cutoff point is this score. So once you hit something over this, you will get into SSS plus. Alright, this is based on single tries. Okay, I hope this is clear. Point rewards, cumulative points. This is based on both tries and the total amount, and that's what it means by cumulative points, right? So your objective is to get 54 diamonds, 10 ancient coins, and whatever pieces that they offer, alright? If by some miracle some of the bosses are finished, you get this for completing the boss. Alright, everybody in the group gets it. And then the last person who gets the last hit gets the finishing reward. Alright? Okay, so the rules of World Boss. You can only have 2 rounds with the World Boss, meaning the boss and you have to finish your moves twice. What this means is you have 12 units, right? So when every unit of yours has moved, that means 12 turns, and then the boss has done his attack, that is 1 round. Okay? So when the boss has attacked twice, the battle is over. Okay? You can try for real on the world boss twice a day. Alright, you have 2 tries a day. And there are 2 types of world bosses, transport and attack. Okay, today we are going to cover the transport bosses because I feel this is the easier ones with a few key units. Alright. Anyway, let's start. Let's start with Zaratan. Important points. The boss does a dot attack after his normal attack. Attack every turn times 8% damage. The boss is debuff immune. He cannot receive buff skill types as well. Alright, these are the exceptions. Exceptions exist, guys. Have a read, understand what it means. But for transport bosses, doing damage on them doesn't really help, okay? I'm going to explain to you why in a second. Let me read this first. The boss heals itself after every attack. So basically, he will never die. Alright, max HP times 1000% instant healing. He will never die. A transport boss like Zaratan will never die. Right, no matter how hard you hit him. Right, just note that this is the damage he does to you. Okay? I mentioned turns. Turns is every time a unit does an action, it is counted as 1 turn. So, The boss attack lasts for 10 turns, which means 10 moves of your units. Alright, 10 units have to move before the dot is over. Alright, a round is when the world boss has done his attack twice, and that is when the battle is over. Alright guys? How do you get points for transport bosses like Zaratan? It is based on the remaining HP of all your units alive after the boss has done his second hit. Alright? Now we're going to talk about important characters. And after we talk about that, then we're going to do it for real and you can see. And I'll explain to you the formation and why it is put in this way. Okay? Important characters for Zaratan. The Three Musketeers. Green Hat, Brisa. Alright? Red Musketeer, Red Hat, Camellia. And Blue Hat, Martina. Alright? Now I'm going to explain to you why this is important. This is because the Musketeers trigger a set effect after 3 hits. So on the 3rd hit, this happens, alright? They all cooperate with each other and then attack the enemy, alright? When this happens, having Brisa go last, she will trigger this on all the Musketeers, all 3 of them, if she hits last out of the 3. Right, max HP every turn, 14% healing. This is a lot because it lasts for 10 turns. It also gives all 3 defense plus 80%, so they take less damage. Alright, I hope this is clear. Right, this is why the 3 Musketeers are very, very good for Zaratan. Alright, next important character, Sabrina. Sabrina is one of the most important supports you can have for transport bosses. Alright, I'm not going to go into detail about skill level and stuff because you can do this with a Sabrina 5-star max level with no skill ups. Alright, mine is +4. It's not a big deal. It's not going to make a lot of difference. This is the skill that helps you survive the hits. Alright, you take less damage from this barrier, max HP healing, and instant healing when allies are attacked by the world boss. Alright, this keeps your units alive, which is why she is the most important support for Zaratan. Alright, Sabrina also gives you agility, which is an important stat to survive these kind of world bosses. Alright, agility helps you get less damage if it procs. Alright, so if your agility is 100%, you will definitely be grazed. What is grazed? If you watch my other videos, I tell you exactly what is grazed, but I'm going to go over it one more time. Alright, basic information in the guide. Agility. Agility affects a unit's chance of being grazed by enemy attacks. Grazed attacks inflict 35% less damage. This means you take 35% less damage. Alright? And if it procs, debuffs on your units last half of their duration. Okay? Which is why agility is important for Zaratan. Alright? Now let's go and do the boss. I'm going to explain to you what the boss does and why. How you can make use of it to help yourself. Okay? As I said just now, the boss is immune. He does a dot. Alright? This dot ignores immunity skill type and applies. So no matter whether your unit is immune, it will still take damage. Okay, this is important to know. So any support that buffs and gives you immunity does not work. Alright? Cannot be removed, ignores debuff reflection and applies. Okay? That's the main point. Now, let me explain the set bonus even more clearly. Alright? So, when you want the set bonus to activate, because this lasts for 10 turns, you want it to proc as near to the end as possible. Okay, so what you want to do is red, blue musketeer, 1, 2, alright, 1, 2, and then somewhere near the end, 11 Brissa, alright, because you want this buff on all 3 musketeers and they survive. And just for your info, having a lot of HP runes on all your units to help them survive is very important. So try and farm more HP runes for these kind of bosses. It will help you greatly. Okay? Next important unit, how are you going to place Sabrina? You just want to make sure all your tanky units are going to survive. So in this position, she buffs all 8 of them and herself. And the key to succeeding with Zaratan is making sure that Sabrina does not die after the first hit. So she can cast a second time and survive the second hit as well. Alright, so the important thing is Sabrina survives with HP runes. My Sabrina has 5300 HP. Okay? Other characters that are not so important but you can use for Zaratan are units with self-heal. Valtor is one of them. He heals himself every turn. Grossa, high HP like Valtor, heals himself. Dio, basically anything with high HP and can heal himself. Seer, I hope a lot of you have Seer. Alright, Seer heals herself. Alright. Lucius heals himself. Alright, so basically anything. Zenith is very good. Zenith has very high agility. Alright, so Zenith is also a good option. Zenith, when awakened, gets agility plus 65% to her, I think, 30% agility or something. Not so sure, gotta check on it. Also heals. Very good for this boss. And then we have supports, alright? Supports, I'm using Julie, Clarice, and Eras, alright? Julie and Eras give you agility buff. This is very important for this boss. So you want them for that. Julie also heals, which is why she's good for this boss. Alright? Clarice gives you a barrier. Reduce incoming damage, which is pretty nice for this boss. Alright? This doesn't work because, you know, I just told you. And Eras. Eras, the rest of her skills doesn't really help actually. Just a little bit of healing here. You can use other supports like Naressa. Naressa actually heals and gives you agility, which is very nice, especially support times 20% reduce incoming damage. Her tile is good at plus 9. Right, immediate heal, which is very good. Arenas for barrier. Elijah to lengthen the duration of the buffs on your allies. If you really have no choice, you can use Elijah to do this. Alright, because if your supports die too quickly and you want to have the buff on the other allies longer, this is an option. And Idan. Idan heals as well. Alright, let me find my Idan. Idan has a heal. It's immediate, which is pretty nice. Right, this doesn't work, so don't bother with this. Basically, you want to have at least 4 supports, including Sabrina for this boss. Where my Sabrina go? Alright, so basically you want 4 supports at least. And I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. Alright, so all your buffs are going to be applied on whatever you can. Alright. So I have the buffs spread out as equal as possible as I can. Okay. So the main point is these 9 must survive the first hit. Alright. These 3 supports in this formation can die. It's okay. Alright. Unless your units are very high skilled, very ranked up and max level, I don't think it's that possible, and it's not needed to keep these 3 supports alive, alright? Okay, so we're gonna do one run, and then you'll see how it works, alright? I'm gonna do maybe one run first, and then we'll see whether we need to do another, alright? I'm gonna focus on Groza, alright, so you can see his stats buff. "55% agility, 78% agility." Because Groza has 0% agility at first. First hit survive. This is very important. Sabrina must survive the first hit. Okay? Do note that the dot is still on, so you have to wait a few turns before it's gone, so they are still taking damage. Okay? And so that's how this boss works. Alright, 95,000 points for one try. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to keep the focus on Brisa and friends so that you can actually see how the buffs work. Okay? Note the set bonus attack. Watch her stat later when she hits. Look at the defense and look at the healing buff. It's on all 3. Okay? Now watch again. We're gonna click on Martina instead. The buff goes on her as well as the defense. Alright? This is why the 3 Musketeers are amazing for Zaratan. And you can see the point total is very consistent. Okay, so when you do this boss, if you do not have the exact, I don't think you have the exact same units as me. Use units that you have that can try and survive in this, because the more units you have alive, the more points you get. Alright? Any damage you do to the boss is negligible. It doesn't really matter. You get your points from the amount of units surviving and their HP total. Okay? Alright, Zaratan. We're done with Zaratan. Next, we'll be doing and talking about Therion. Alright, so Therion is a world boss, which is a transport boss, which means your points are again from the remaining HP on the units left alive after the second hit. Alright, the boss has 5,000 attack, 75% defense, and 100% agility. So he's not going to take much damage from you. He's debuff immune. You can't debuff him. Doesn't matter what you do to him, you can't reduce his damage. Okay? The boss does max HP 95% fixed damage. Okay, so basically when he touches your units, he deals 95% of their current HP damage. Alright? They won't die, but this dot, attack every turn times 20% damage, is going to kill them if you don't have the suitable buffs. Alright? He also curses your units, he reduces all stats for 100%. Okay? Ignores immunity skill type. So even if your unit is immune, it still applies. It doesn't matter. Alright? And as you can see right here, what I've been repeating in previous videos about fixed damage, ignores defense, agility, barrier, incoming damage boost, and applies. Critical hit does not occur fixed damage. Fixed damage cannot crit. Alright, this is the rule in the game. It's the basics, alright? Targeting for Therion will always be middle row, right? Middle row, last unit. Last unit. So this formation would be the best for Tarion. Why? Because with this formation, these 6 units do not take damage. And you can put any 6 units you want at these 6 spots. Alright, because you're going to avoid damage totally. So you use the units that you have that have the most base HP stat. Then you pump as good as you have vital runes, alright, on them. Pump their HP as high as possible. That's what you want to do. Alright? Key units for Tarion. Martina. Martina has agility up 75% after she hits. Alright, so you want her to go last. If you are using her, she has incoming damage 50% at high skill ups, I think. Okay? Because her base agility is 25%, this will take her to a grand total of 100% agility. Alright, so she definitely will be grazed. Okay, which is why I like her more than the other option, which is Brisa. Again, the Musketeers are being useful. I've tried it with both work. There's no issue there. Brisa, healing, as you know from just now, what I spoke about, and defense, so you take less damage, alright? But with Brisa, you might need a little bit more agility buffs so that she can survive the first hit. Okay? I prefer Martina for this boss. It's up to you, whichever one you have. Plainly because of agility, alright? Okay, I'm going to explain. Another important unit, probably the most important unit. Again, I'm repeating myself, so you should understand by now. Sabrina, alright? Same use as just now. I'm not going to recover it. I'm just going to... If you want to know about Sabrina, just wind back the video and then listen about her again, okay? Sabrina is super important. Units that I've covered earlier, I'll not cover again, alright? Julie, very good for this boss. Clarice, again, barrier. Eras, agility. Arenas, barrier, incoming damage reduced. And of course, your less popular supports. Eunice can be used as well. Eunice has a heal, which is okay for this if you don't have anything else that I mentioned. Edan has a heal as well. So you have to test it out first and see what works best for you. Okay? Hope that's clear. Edan, the heal, you know it. Now, because Tarion is a transport boss, as I said before, transport bosses, your points get from the max HP, the HP left after the boss has done 2 hits, alright? So with this formation, boss is targeting Martina, right? Because she's the last unit on this row. So if you happen to shift Martina here, these 2 units are gonna take damage. So your formation has to be in this way. Okay? If I put the last unit here, all these units get damaged, and it's pointless to do this. Alright? So this formation is the most ideal. And you want the buffs to cover Martina as much as possible, alright? All the buffs have to cover Martina, so she survives the first hit. If Martina or Brisa survive the first hit, the second hit from the boss will target her again, so she has to survive the first hit, alright? I'm going to show you once how it's going to work. You may ask me why I'm using Mora and Natalie. This is a tip for you guys. You want a higher score, you want to use set bonuses, alright? So I have a set bonus for 2 sets, alright? Valtor's set, which is Mora and Natalie plus him, which gives him 30% more HP, and then I have Dio and Seer, which is 10% increased HP, alright? So increase HP for Valtor, increase HP for these 2, which is ideal, I guess. Alright, so this is a way to push your points up a little higher if you can survive with less supports. You can actually put more supports here to make sure the Musketeer survives, alright? I'm going to do it once, you're going to see how it works, and then you'll understand. points are based on max HP left after 2 hits. Okay? I'm repeating myself because I want you to understand how it works. Make sure your buff is always on the Musketeer, and then this will happen. Okay? Not even close to dying. And what happens now is the targeting is still on Martina in this case. Alright, observe. These 6 units are untouched. And this is based on the HP of all the units alive, which is about 108 points. Right, per try. Okay, so let's talk about max rewards. You know by now that max rewards is calculated cumulative points, right? So if you want to hit max rewards, you have to hit the top tier. Max rewards meaning you get the most diamonds, most ancient coins and pieces. Right, so for Zaratan it's pretty easy, in my opinion, to get max rewards. Probably the easiest boss in the game to get the max rewards. Okay, because the key units are there, it's pretty easy to get them. Sabrina is a fusion unit. You have to get Sabrina, alright? It takes some time at first if you're a new player, but you have to get Sabrina for these 2 bosses, because I am very sure you will have at least 7 or 8 ancient coins every time this world boss is up if you have Sabrina and the other important units, okay, which is probably very easy to get. Okay, make sure all the units have HP runes. Okay, and for Therion, I believe the cutoff point is slightly above 200k. Alright, so you need to hit 100k per try on Therion just for max rewards. That's a little bit harder because you need specific units with high base HP pools, which you can boost even more with HP runes. Or if you have very good vital runes, HP runes, you can push a not so good unit to an even higher HP total. Alright? Anyway guys, this should be the end of the video. I hope this video has helped you a lot with doing transport bosses. I will do the next part as soon as I can. Okay, the next part will be the attack bosses, Ogdot and Arkstar. These 2 are slightly more complicated and slightly, not really slightly, a lot more harder for new players to get good scores on. Okay, so I'm focusing on the transport bosses first. And I hope they help you, you know, I hope everything I said is helping you. And guys, if you like my videos, like the video, it really helps me out. Sub to my channel, share the video with your friends, help them out as well. And if you have any further questions, just leave me a comment on the video. I will reply all comments unless you're trolling me. You know who you are. Anyway guys, I hope this video is good for you. Take care. Ciao.